now, Rick Edlund, Molly McCoy, weather forecaster Andy Avalos, and Brian Drees on sports. This is News 7 Night Scene.
Good evening. Topping our news tonight, the first meat cutter strike in 30 years in the Denver area is still on this evening. Contract talks broke off early today, and meat cutters took to the picket lines. Tonight, the union held an informational meeting. 2,000 meat cutters and some 6,000 store clerks, also members of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, are directly affected by the strike against Safeway. The company says meat cutters and clerks not reporting for work are considered fired and will be replaced. Earlier today, News 7 Scott Sobel talked with meat cutters, management, and other employees about the strike, and here's his report.
We need your support in order to make our strike effective.
Outside stores, picketers are trying to turn shoppers away from Safeway. They are trying to push management into supplying better seniority benefits and more money for meat cutters. A raise from $11.95 an hour now to $12.95 an hour over 2 years. While inside stores, management is cutting meat and training new clerks. The union has asked clerks to walk out in sympathy for meat cutters. Some Safeways were closed for about an hour while new clerks were trained. Safeway management would not let us talk to clerks inside a store being picketed. However, we did talk to clerks at a store before the meat cutters walked out. The clerks told us that they wouldn't come back to work if the strike continues tomorrow.
I agree with what the meat cutters are wanting, but taking a strike this far, yeah, I don't really agree with.
But still in all, you won't cross the picket line, you say?
No.
So union men have left and will leave their jobs. Management says that they can have their jobs back if they return to work soon. There has been a noticeable drop-off in business at some Safeway stores, some shoppers turning back at picket lines. And Teamsters have promised not to pick up and deliver goods if the strike goes on for 2 days. Still, Safeway management is optimistic.
There's plenty of product on hand to tide us over until we have to bring in replacements, if that's necessary.
Safeway is not the only chain that is affected by the strike. Management says meat cutters at Albertsons and King Soopers will be kept from coming to work, even though the union does not plan to strike those two chains yet. Scott Sobel, News 7 Night Scene.
Denver police are investigating the stabbing of one man in northeast Denver late this afternoon. Tonight, they still say they don't know exactly what happened. Police wrestled this man to the ground and arrested him at the scene, but it is not known if he is a suspect in the stabbing. The still unidentified victim of the attack is listed in critical condition tonight at a local hospital. Police cordoned off the area near 26th and Clarkson, where the attack occurred, as they try to reconstruct that crime. In Colorado Springs today, a dramatic and tragic scene. 2 young boys digging a cave in a deep gully near Flint Ridge Drive were trapped when the cave collapsed. A 3rd young boy and his father dug the trapped youngsters out, but it was too late for 12-year-old Brian Clement. He died in that accident. Injured but in satisfactory condition tonight is Jonathan Swenson, 8 years old. His father Lauren and brother Timothy Swenson discovered the mishap. Paramedics tried in vain to save young Brian Clement, but he was dead on arrival at Penrose Community Hospital. Defense attorneys for Elizabeth Manning say the woman was promised immunity when she provided information to police about her boyfriend's part in the death of her 3-year-old son, Michael. Boulder authorities deny that claim. Michael's body was found near Boulder in a shallow grave. Manning and Danny Arevalo are both charged in that death. Lawyers for Manning will attempt at a May 10th hearing to close legal proceedings to the public.
Molly, a 24-year-old Denver man is charged with second-degree murder in connection with the death of his girlfriend's child. Fred Valdez also faces child abuse charges in the death of 6-month-old Joshua Kent McLean. The little baby died last month from a severe skull fracture. And in Grand Junction, why did a bottle of Visine eye drops contain sulfuric acid? That's the subject of an investigation there. 32-year-old Gary Jensen suffered eye burns after using the drops from a bottle he found at his workplace. Last October, another Grand Junction man was also injured when he used eye drops with acid in them.
Jean Kirkpatrick, the United States ambassador to the UN, was in Golden today. She delivered the commencement address to graduating seniors at the School of Mines. However, she was met by peaceful demonstrators outside the hall where she spoke.
No draft, no war, USFL Salvador!
The 200 demonstrators were protesting U.S. involvement in El Salvador. Security was tight. There were no arrests. One of the organizers of the protest told News 7 the ambassador supports what he called CIA involvement in Nicaragua.
We hope to bring to the public eye the fact that Jeane Kirkpatrick's policies have been responsible for the 42,000 people who have been killed by the Salvadoran government and the invasion of Nicaragua by backers of ex-dictator Somoza.
During her commencement address, Kirkpatrick made no direct mention of Central America, but did hint the United States would continue to support the battle for freedom throughout the Americas.
We were the first anti-colonial people. We were the original anti-colonialists. All of us in this hemisphere are anti-colonialists. I believe that all of us in the hemisphere, as Americans, have also valued freedom and equality.
Demonstrators were not allowed inside the hall where Kirkpatrick was speaking. Her address was not interrupted.
Remember the talk about the Denver A's? Major League Baseball almost became reality here a couple of years ago, and one candidate for mayor says the current mayor, Bill McNichols, hasn't done enough to make it happen. Federico Pena announced an 8-point plan to bring big league ball here today. He says it could mean millions for the Denver economy, and action, he says, is needed now.
I think the point is that we need to be in the best possible situation to be absolutely competitive and ready the moment there's an opportunity to have a Major League Baseball team here. Right now, we are not there. If that were to occur tomorrow, a baseball team would go elsewhere in the United States.
Pena says one of the things he would do is establish a special committee to go out and get a Major League team for Denver. In Chicago, the newly elected mayor continues to try to hold the city council together. Today, Mayor Harold Washington tried for the second time this week to get council members to stop the power struggle that is underway. The mayor quickly adjourned an emergency city council meeting today, but members of the rebel majority coalition of white aldermen called it back into order. What followed was a shouting match between the two sides.
You're afraid of the truth. You are afraid of the truth. And the truth is, in America, 29 votes is more than 21 votes. And that's the truth. We're in the middle of a roll call vote. The clerk will proceed.
Power struggle in Chicago has brought City Hall business to a standstill.
And when Nightscene continues, a new snag in the Schultz peace effort in the Mideast. Details are next.
So much to do today, baby, but you keep your cool, baby. How do you do it?
How do active women keep cool and dry? I use Babe Antiperspirant. Its super dry formula gives you 24-hour deodorant protection. Babe Antiperspirant is powerful, yet it has a delicate Babe fragrance.
Morning, noon, and night, babe. You got what it takes, babe, to keep your cool.
Babe Antiperspirant by Fabergé. Powerful but delicate.
Powerful. But delicate.
Come to Winchell's, where great taste runs in the family.
I love family reunions. I do, Martha. Harriet.
Oh,
you never change.
Actually, dear, we have Kraft real mayonnaise.
You always told us to use this mayonnaise.
Now we know better. We've discovered that Kraft looks creamier. It's specially blended over 3,000 times.
How's it taste? Here. Tastes creamy, too.
Now let's tell neighbor Charlie.
Hey, Clara.
Clara, maybe.
Nothing tastes creamier than Kraft Real Mayonnaise. Now you know. 100 years ago, restaurateur Louis Sherry created his exquisitely rich-tasting ice creams. And eggs were the reason that his ice creams were as deliciously rich as they were. Today, eggs are still the reason that Louis Sherry all-natural ice creams are as rich and smooth-tasting as they are. We still blend real egg yolks into every flavor, including our exclusive Louis Sherry Turtles candy. So every exciting flavor is just as rich-tasting as the next.
Secretary of State Schultz is in Saudi Arabia tonight looking for Saudi support of his agreement for troop withdrawals from Lebanon. Earlier today, Schultz traveled to Syria to meet with President Assad to discuss his plan. At the airport, he acknowledged the key role Syria plays in the Middle East.
We in the United States well recognize the critical role, the important role that Syria plays in the Middle East.
Syria rejected the plan, which calls for withdrawal of Israeli, Syrian, and PLO forces from Lebanese soil. Lebanon and Israel have indicated their fundamental acceptance of that plan.
In other world news tonight, the first official Chinese delegation to visit South Korea in 3 decades arrived in Seoul today. The 33-member delegation of the Chinese state airline is negotiating for return of the plane hijacked last Thursday along with its crew and passengers. The South Koreans are not likely to return the hijackers who face the death penalty in China. And in Istanbul, Turkey tonight, at least 42 people are dead and 50 more injured as fire swept through a hotel. An American is among the injured. One hotel guest says the fire alarms didn't sound until half an hour after the blaze started. Most of the dead panicked, rushing to the stairs and leaping out windows. A butane gas cylinder exploded, starting the deadly fire.
If you had a baby within the last year, the government says that child will cost you, hear this, $81,000 to raise. Those figures are based on the assumption that the child will remain under the parent's roof until the age of 18. 1/3 of the cost goes for housing, the rest for food, clothes, transportation, and extras. If you're planning to call Mom tomorrow on Mother's Day, be aware that only on Christmas are there as many phone calls being made. Mountain Bell expects to handle more than 2 million calls tomorrow. More than 600,000 of them will be long distance. Some tips for tomorrow. Try to call between noon and 5 p.m., not between 8 and 9 at night. Dial directly if possible, and remember, calls made up to 5 p.m. receive a 60% discount.
Now the phone lines will be jammed between noon and 5 p.m. instead of 8 and 9. Still ahead on Nightscene, Andy says another repeat of today for Sunday with a slight improvement. Stay with us.
For Denny's chicken dinner, we deep fry 4 plump pieces of young, tender chicken till they're crisp on the outside and juicy on the inside. Then we serve them with grilled garlic toast and creamy whipped potatoes with rich chicken gravy. All for the special price this month of only $3.49. The fried chicken dinner at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food 24 hours a day.
Light the fireworks, sound the sirens. It's Weberg's Wild Weekend. Hurry down to Weberg Furniture this weekend. The entire store is on sale, 10 to 50% off every single item. Famous brand furniture for the whole house. It's Weberg's Wild Weekend. If you're looking for furniture and if you want to save money, get on down to Weberg's this Wild Weekend. Everything in stock is reduced. That's Weberg Furniture, the large economy-sized store with 10 to 50% savings now through Monday.
Introducing a Sanyo video recorder with special effects beyond the ordinary. Effects like slow motion and freeze frame, but with all the clarity and none of the usual interference. The new Sanyo with our clear 4-head design. Clear special effects at a clearly affordable price. Sanyo's clear 4-head design. Now the choice is perfectly clear. Sanyo, the official video products of the 1984 Olympics.
Monday night at 10:35 on Channel 7, you'll be the judge and jury when you watch the People's Night Court.
This is Harriet Hirsch, the defendant, and her son, Stephen. They say they were sold a sick bird. They're accused of not paying for their parrot.
We would have taken it to our vet. We would have cared for the bird.
I said I would make arrangements with our vet. That isn't satisfactory.
Be here Monday night for the People's Night Court at 10:35 only on Channel 7.
Andy said at 5 that it could only get earlier, and get better. Hello, Molly.
Did I say that?
It could only get earlier, Andy. Only gets better. I am for that.
I did say that. And
I heard you.
And it is going to do that. And that's kind of like my Mother's Day gift to all of you moms tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day, so it's up to your family to take you out there to enjoy it. Plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures. That's the forecast. Well, now back to Rick and Molly. Let's find out what's going on right now. First of all, our current conditions. Under clear skies, 52 degrees is our present temperature. Humidity at 52% as well. Winds are out of the southeast at 15 and 30.18, and on the way up is our barometer. Today's high, a comfortable 62 degrees. That was about 2:30 this afternoon, and the overnight low, 38 degrees.
On the national satellite picture this evening, a little bit of cloud cover into the Pacific Northwest. You can see that there actually quite a bit of broken cloud cover. That is in advance of a cold front that is headed towards Colorado. We'll talk about that in a second. Over in the eastern section of the country, we still have a low pressure system up here around the Great Lakes area, and then a trailing cold front down to the Gulf Coast states. That's presenting a few problems. Let's take a look at the national picture and see what's happening on the national map. First of all, everybody in Colorado this evening is under the influence of a Rocky Mountain high, and there it sits. Virtually clear skies covering the entire state, very mild conditions throughout tonight. It will be cool, and tomorrow mostly sunny and warm. Looks like a terrific day. Monday we'll have partly cloudy skies, but temperatures will still be mild, and then by Tuesday it'll clear up a bit and it'll be cooler as that cold front into the Pacific Northwest does pass by, and we get behind on the cool side of that front. And then by Wednesday it'll be cool but start to warm up again. So all in all, the upcoming week looks pretty good, but Mom's Day looks the best so far. Behind that front now, some cooler temperatures and some scattered showers. Some of these have been fairly heavy, up to an inch of rain in a number of locations, and the Oregon Cascades have a traveler's advisory in effect. They may get up to 4 inches of snow there tonight. So we turn to the east. There's the low pressure system that I spoke about on the national satellite picture, the trailing edge of the cold front, all that very slowly moving to the east, but quite a few problems associated with this storm system. Scattered showers and thunderstorms from the Gulf Coast, starting around the Louisiana area, all the way up the Mississippi Valley into the Great Lakes. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, some heavy rain earlier this afternoon caused some minor flooding, very strong winds in Kentucky. A couple of tornadoes were reported, a little bit of damage with those, and all of this system will continue to move to the east, and they had a nice day today, but tomorrow they will have all the conditions the folks in the eastern central section of the country had today. How about our own return on radar tonight? Absolutely nothing to show you. On the wide shot this evening, 240-mile sweep. Absolutely nothing to show you at all. Our usual ground clutter right around Lyman and the Pikes Peak target, but you can see clear skies throughout this entire area and no moisture being picked up at all. The state for tomorrow, how's it look? Just like this. Plenty of sunshine for eastern Colorado, mostly 70s. As far as the temperature go, it looks very nice, 55 to 65 in the mountains, partly cloudy skies. In the western portion of the state, they too will see mostly sunny skies and very mild temperatures. Let's go to the forecast. Tonight, mostly clear and 40. That's going to be nice. But tomorrow, look at this. Mostly sunny and mild. 72 to 75 for the high, 44 for the overnight low. Then by Monday, partly cloudy and warm with a high of 71 degrees. And let us wish everybody at this point a very happy Mother's Day tomorrow.
You still have to send flowers, even though that was a marvelous gift. It's nice weather.
What color did you like? Or do you like?
Do I like? What are you calling me, Andy?
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Coming up, Nightscene visits one of the weirdest regattas on water. Stay tuned.
Uh-oh, you're going to go crazy over Blue Diamond Smokehouse almonds. So crisp and crunchy, you can't stop eating them. 7 different Blue Diamond snack flavors to drive you out of your mind. And Blue Diamond chopped almonds to pour over chocolate sundaes. Blue Diamond whole natural almonds to pour in stir-fry. Slivered almonds in salads. And Blue Diamond sliced almonds to drive you crazy on a chocolate cake. Remember, almonds have to be Blue Diamond. You'd be nutty to buy anything else.
Judith, could you send $350 to Santa Fe right away?
Could you possibly send me $709? Hurry.
Dad, is there any way you could send the money today?
To send someone money fast, come to Western Union. We'll make sure it gets to any of our 9,000 locations, usually in 15 minutes or less.
Keep in touch.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
Come to the new Burger King salad bar and...
Pita, pita. A what?
Pardon?
Pita, pita.
Peter? He's a nice guy.
No, it's salad in a pita. Soft, scrumptious pita bread you can stuff with fresh, crispy vegetables, bacon bits, and creamy dressings.
Pita, pita.
It's a lot of fun. It's different.
It's very good, too.
Pita, pita. I don't know what this is, but I sure love it. Aren't you hungry for salad?
In a pita or on a platter?
At Burger King now.
If your stoneware always needs replacing, Skaggs has a replacement for stoneware. It's the new Cornerstone collection from Corning. Sure, it looks just like stoneware, but it's a lot more durable and chip-resistant. And it's on sale now at Skaggs for just $49.99 for a 20-piece set in several beautiful patterns. The new Cornerstone collection, the beauty of stoneware, the durability you expect from Corning, now at Skaggs Drug Centers.
They lined up along the Boulder Reservoir today for the 4th annual Kinetic Race. Creatures and crafts of all shapes, sizes, and speeds were on hand for the challenge, as Kathy Chiampa reports.
Zany, crazy,
outlandish. That's the only way to describe the Kinetic Sculpture Race. The goal, to direct a human-powered conveyance over water and land. Tens of thousands of spectators showed up for today's event to watch the creatively costumed craft swim, sink, sail, push, pull, and drag. The team spent months building these contraptions, trying to make them streamlined, manageable, and survivable against all the elements. What's the theory behind this thing moving?
Me. I'm the motor. Basically, we got 10-speed gearing in the water, out of water. We have four-wheel independent suspension. We have shocks in the front, monoshock in the rear. We have a paddle wheel. We can engage in the water and disengage when we're on land.
We've got basically a three-wheel conveyance, kind of like a big adult trike, and with two pontoon floats on it. And we're going to go out there and pedal like crazy.
It's got an original 1923 Model T horn, and please note the split windshield with the cobwebs in the corner. Top speed is 30 miles an hour on land if you pedal your buns off on pavement.
More than 70 crafts were entered in the race here at the Boulder Reservoir. They're being judged on costume, style, sculpture, and engineering. After 5 miles on the water, they hit a 5-mile course on land. Besides these strange contraptions and their strange-looking pilots, the Kinetic Race is marked by another special feature. The purpose is not only to win, but to have a good time. And everyone participating seemed to be doing just that. Kathy Chiappa for News 7 Nightscene.
And Kathy says the winner of the race won $200 worth of one big party.
Up next, they call it the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, the Kentucky Derby. Next.
Ever called your bank when you didn't have a problem?
Not really.
Well, I talked to the Better Bankers just the other day.
Why?
Oh, seems like I either have money to invest or I need to borrow some fast. Well, the Better Bankers told me that with their executive extra line of credit and their investment advice, I'm covered both ways, in a hurry.
Well, that's a combination it's hard to beat. Real service.
For money, advice, service, bank with the Better Bankers.
My treat.
Oh, I want a big, thick crust Shakey's pizza.
Shakey's thin, crispy crust. That's what I want.
There's always been Shakey's original thin crust pizza. But have you tried Shakey's thicker crust pizza? Thoroughly thick, thoroughly delicious. Shakey.
There's a preoccupation with the Shakey's mutation. Shakey's satisfies the want.
Save over $3 on family size thick crust pepperoni pizza, just $5.99 at Shakey's.
Only Chrysler offers 9.8% financing, the lowest in the industry. Way to go, Chrysler.
Only Chrysler offers 9.8% financing or $300 to $400 rebates on select new cars. Way to go, Chrysler.
Only Chrysler backs every car it builds for 5 years or 50,000 miles. Way to go, Chrysler.
And Chrysler's got a big choice of front-wheel drive cars. As a Chrysler Plymouth dealer, you know what I say to that. Way to go, Chrysler.
See your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Get happy. Get happy.
Now they're getting happy. New Happy Cat from Purina, the new moist and meaty tasting cat food. Happy Cat stays fresh and meaty tasting in the bowl so cats can come back for more all day.
Get happy.
New Happy Cat cat food. Its delicious meaty taste makes cats happy all day.
There were so many horses in the Kentucky Derby today. It looked for a while they were going to have to run it in shifts.
Right, I thought General Custer was going to be the winning jockey there for a moment. They call it the Run for the Roses, but it's also a dash for a lot of cash. 23-year-olds went to the post today for the 109th running of horse racing's Kentucky Derby. 2 minutes and 2 seconds later, they were celebrating the victory of Sonny's Halo. It was a clean start as the 20-horse field broke from the starting gate at Churchill Downs. And as the field pounded by the grandstand for the first time, Total Departure broke for the lead and had it when the horses galloped into the first turn. But in the backstretch, it was 3 horses going for the lead: Sonny's Halo, Desert Wine, and Highland Park. As the leaders brought the race into the home stretch, it was Sonny's Halo with a narrow lead.
Halo on the inside.
outside has his head in front. Desert Wine is second. Highland Park's still right there. Now coming up on the outside and gaining ground, Slew of Gold. Marfa on the extreme outside. Down the stretch, it's Sonny's Halo on the inside. Desert Wine is second. On the outside, Marfa. Up between horses, Slew of Gold and Playfellow. They're nearing the finish. It's Sonny's Halo. He's going to win it. Sonny's Halo wins it a length and a half.
Sonny's Halo was under the ride of Eddie De La Houssaye. It was De La Houssaye's second straight Derby win. Desert Wine took second, Caveat third. Sonny Halo's victory paid off to the tune of $7 on a $2 to win bet. New York Islanders are now a best-of-7 series away from winning their fourth straight Stanley Cup. The Islanders tonight eliminated Boston from the NHL playoffs with an 8-4 win. More than anything tonight, it was the Mike Bossy show for the Islanders. First period, and Bossy takes the pass from Brian Trottier. Islanders lead it 2-0. Then in the second period, Mike Bossy unloads from the face-off circle. It goes in, 4-2 Islanders. Moments later, it's Bossy again. He jumps on a rebound. Bossy, the 3-goal hat trick. The Islanders a 5-3 lead. But Mike Bossy wasn't finished. A scramble in front of the Boston net, and Bossy gets his fourth goal of the game. The Islanders beat Boston 8-4, take the series 4-2, and now get ready to meet Edmonton in a best-of-7 for the Stanley Cup. The Denver Gold will be up against the hottest team in the United States Football League tomorrow. The Gold will be in Philadelphia, and the Stars are right now 8-1. The Gold will be trying to get to 5-5. One of the Pacific teams the Gold will be trying to keep pace with is Los Angeles. LA in against Boston tonight, and in the first half, Boston's Tony Davis takes it in to give the Breakers a 10-6 lead. Boston was up 20-16 in the closing seconds, but Los Angeles was rolling. Mike Ray to Tony Bodie, LA ball at the Boston 1 with 25 seconds to play. LA got moved back by a penalty, but with 18 ticks left on the clock, Mike Ray threw left to Chris Haynes. It's a touchdown. Los Angeles beats Boston 23-20. LA now 5-5. So on the board, it's Los Angeles over Boston, and Michigan right now leading Arizona 21-10 in the third quarter. In a moment, we'll head out to the ball yards, and the Denver Bears pick up another win. Highlights from Mile High are next.
To run the Hat of the Month Club in a business-like way, the boss has to keep the books, organize the files, write the letters, be creative, and still keep on top of things. The boss could bring home a tool for modern times, the IBM personal computer. It can help the business person wear many hats and sell even more. The IBM personal computer. Try one on at a store near you.
Reports are flooding in about the lowest interest rates in 20 years from the Mountain Olds family. These 5 Olds dealers are offering earth-shattering deals and special financing on all Oldsmobiles. Now this.
Better traction, a front-wheel drive from the Mountain Olds family.
And now this update.
You know, John, the big story is an incredible 9.9% financing on Oldsmobile Omegas and Forenzas.
Take advantage of the lowest interest rate in 20 years on a new Oldsmobile from the Mountain Olds family. And that's the way it is.
Tool King, the finest quality home center stores around with the guaranteed lowest prices in town. And Tool King will give you $50 if we can't beat anybody's price. Super savings on the 7-drawer toolbox combo, now only $99.95. And prices slashed on this 2-ton heavy-duty professional floor jack, now only $139.95. Why overpay? Shop Tool King today.
For great comedy, catch Fish Week on Barney Miller starting Monday on 7.
The name is Fish. Philip K. Fish. 4 radio stations beat me to the scene of the crime.
Barney's elder statesman detective Fish, the gumshoe with air pillows, who'd rather live life in the slow lane.
What happened? What happened? He met a bride.
Catch the excitement on Barney Miller. Catch Fish Week starting Monday only on 7.
The Denver Bears are on an early season roll. The Bears have now won 7 of their last 8 this afternoon. The Bears beat Wichita 10-9 in a game that went down to the final play. Bears were trailing 1-0 in the second when Denver's Jim Smith took one into the seats in left field. Smith's home run tied the game at 1. Wichita took a 4-2 lead, but in the Denver fifth, the Bears' Dave Stegman wiped that out with a long drive to center. It went off the wall for a 2-run triple, and the Bears had tied it up at 4. 6th inning, Bears leading 5-4, and Jim Smith cracks another. His second home run of the day gives the Bears a 6-4 lead. Bears moved that to 7-4, but then they let the Arrows back into the game. Pat Rooney, a high fly to short center. The Bears draw a beat on it, but it gets lost in the sun, drops in. 2 Wichita runs score to make it 7-6, and the Arrows eventually tied the game at 8. Bears scored twice in the bottom of the 8th. Chris Nyman singles to right, scoring Casey Parsons. That makes it 10-8 Bears. Then in the top of the 9th, Wichita's Angel Salazar, a shot deep down the line and left. 1 run comes in to score, and the Arrows' Tom Wighouse is trying to come home with the tying run. The throw is on its way from left. Wighouse will slam into Marv Foley. Foley hangs on to the ball. Wighouse is out. Bears win it 10-9. In the major leagues, Atlanta took on Houston, with Atlanta looking to stay close to first in the National League West. In the Atlanta second, Bob Horner tees off. Horner's 7th home run of the season clears the fence and left. Braves lead it 1-0. The Braves put it away in the 3rd. Houston catcher Alan Ashby can't handle the pitch. Brett Butler scores from 3rd. 2-0 Atlanta. Moments later, Chris Chambliss bounced a single up the middle. This one scored a run. Atlanta 3-0. Then Bruce Benedict slapped a single between short and 3rd. Bob Horner and Chris Chambliss scored. That made it 5-0 Braves, and Atlanta goes on to beat Houston 10-1. On the scoreboard, the Braves over Houston. Montreal beat Philadelphia. The Giants over the Pirates. Cincinnati beat the Mets. San Diego and Chicago tied after 6. Dodgers lead the Cardinals after 6. In the American League, California beat Detroit in 12. Toronto beat Kansas City. Baltimore beat Oakland. Boston shut out Seattle. Chicago beat Cleveland. The Yankees over Minnesota. Milwaukee and Texas were rained out. It's that time of year when some high school students start thinking about summer vacation, and others are thinking about winning state championships in spring sports. At Overland High School today, the boys' state gymnastics championship was on the line, and this year's team title goes to Wasson High of Colorado Springs. Wasson totaled 154.31 points in the team competition. Heritage was a little more than 3 points behind, while defending state champ Cherry Creek finished 3rd. Heritage came up with a 1-2 finish in the all-round competition. Lyle Ching of Heritage took the all-round title, and his teammate John Donner was 2nd. And again, congratulations to Wasson. They had 4 gymnasts take individual titles tonight. One final note, the Mile High Marathon tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning. We'll be there, so you don't have to get up if you don't really want to. We'll have the coverage at 5.
You'll be there, 7:30 in the morning?
We'll be there.
Brian will be there. You heard it here. Thank you, Brian. Still ahead on Night Scene. Some call it art, but others call it gross. We're going to let you decide when we return.
Introducing the only Leaven Freshen detergent for a clean that breaks the static barrier. Introducing new Fab with full-strength fabric softener.
Full-strength fabric softener plus full-strength detergent in new Fab? Fabulous! No more staticky socks or clingy wash, and such a fabulous clean.
Towel soft, Mom.
And lemony fresh.
Get a clean that breaks the static barrier.
Your Fab, we're glad there's full-strength fabric softener in you.
Captain, the men are growling of mutiny. Biscuits, 4 months at sea and nothing but these plain cereal biscuits. We need a taste of beef.
Hold on there, men. I've a real beefy biscuit for you. Wag Time Beefy Waffles. Real beefy coating over a delicious hard biscuit that'll keep your teeth good and strong. Wag Time Beefy Waffles, the hearty dog biscuit with a 100% real beefy coating.
Aye.
Ace is the place.
Ace is the place, the hardware store with everything you're looking for.
The May Best Buy of the month is the AC's The Open Lounger. Lightweight metal durable tubing, just $7.99.
Ace is the place.
The Fiesta 12 personal cooler is foam insulated and durable. The wide mouth half-gallon jug has an easy pour spout.
May's Best Buy combo, just $9.44.
Best buys of the month and one thing more. Ace is the place with the help of hardware.
Talk about a different way to spend a Saturday. While many of us were catching some sun or watching the Kentucky Derby today, 2 Coloradans climbed Mount Everest. Peter Jameson, a salesman from Durango, and Gerard Roach, a computer scientist from Boulder, were among 4 Americans who made it to the top today, and they became the very first Americans to ever climb Everest without using oxygen.
And 11 islands in Biscayne Bay off Florida are all wrapped up tonight. The artist Christo completed his bigger-than-usual work of art by successfully draping the perimeters of the islands with bright pink plastic, making them look like huge water lilies. The reviews have been mixed. Some call the Christo work beautiful. Others thought less of Christo's artistic folly. I like it.
They look sort of like pineapples. That's the news on this Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the great weather tomorrow and have a very nice Mother's Day.
Good night.